Guys, apparently a couple of Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's WAP writers also worked on TAEMIN's new comeback song. I just love that when you hear that, you have a certain image of what TAEMIN's comeback might look like. But the description of his song is that it expresses the unraveling process of moving away from the previous self using Plato's theory of forms. From the composers of WAP. Now, I'm always excited for a Taemin comeback. He has one of my favorite songs from this year. And this one sounds like it has so much substance. But now, we know there's probably another group that's just as excited for his comeback.
You know the song WAP?
Even though Blackpink's comeback promotion is over, at least we still have a bunch of iconic moments to hold on to. We have a clip of them literally talking about pants, they were on Running Man, and there was actually some, I guess, controversy from their Running Man episode that I've been wanting to talk about, but haven't had the chance because of all the crazier K-pop news breaking lately. Once you hear what all the uproar was about, it still might not make sense to you why. So Blackpink made their long-awaited return to Running Man, and obviously if you watched enough variety shows, you know one of the first things they'll do is promote their song. In this case, dance to it. Well, during this segment, one of the regular castmates, Somin, joined along, danced with the girls, and she actually got hate for this because these people, not gonna say fans, you'll see why, said she was trying to act like the fifth member. Not sure how to make sense of that. I feel like they took this comment from Rose during a game a little too seriously. But it doesn't end there. Later on in the episode, during a physical challenge between Somin and Jisoo, you see her kind of kick Jisoo off because Jisoo was holding on to her leg. And although it was a physical game, something Running Man always has, although Jisoo didn't seem hurt in the slightest, she was actually laughing, Somin got hate for this as well. Now, here's where my somewhat of a conspiracy theory comes in. Before this Blackpink episode, Somin was already getting a lot of hate for various reasons. I'm willing to bet that it's these same people now taking this opportunity, pretending to be a part of this giant fandom in order to get real Blackpink fans to hate on her as well. I don't know, although I do think it backfired, because when I look through the reactions of this quote-unquote backlash, I see most, if not all, fans saying, the girls actually look like they're having fun. They look like they love being on Running Man. The chemistry with the castmates is fantastic. That it seems like the people who are genuinely complaining don't really know what Running Man is all about, or even watch it at all. Just like those who weren't in the know about the pre-recording and just watched SBS's 2020 Gangnam Festival this year probably didn't know that Red Velvet was completely cut out of the broadcast. First of all, it was pre-recorded back on October 18th before all the news about Irene started blowing up. Despite what you saw, or I guess didn't see on broadcast, the girls did attend and perform 3 songs as a matter of fact. You'd think it's pretty obvious why SBS would cut them. Yet the next day, they put out a statement that obviously nobody believed. It wasn't because of what you thought, it was because the overall length of the concert had to be shortened during the editing process due to their allocated TV time. A lot of people are pointing out that if we were to go by the usual music show etiquette, the seniors and bigger artists usually perform later. In this case, Red Velvet performed last. Cutting them out for time for a pre-recorded show doesn't make sense because usually stations will cut out the lesser known groups. Whether we think that's fair or unfair, that's a whole other conversation. What makes SBS look worse, on top of most people really thinking that they're obviously lying, is that Red Velvet fans and SBS already have bad blood, because if you recall, it was their show last year, their incompetent staff, and knowingly unsafe conditions as to why Wendy got injured. Just a reminder, it was Mamamoo Solar who found Wendy, not anyone from SBS. I'm not sure if the anger is more that they cut them out, or that they're not apparently upfront with the reason why. Regarding Red Velvet, I'm really not sure what their upcoming year is going to look like. We were hearing that they were gearing up for a comeback in the next couple of months, but if you've seen what some of the other members have been saying, they might be indicating an even longer hiatus, at least as a group. But if we want proof that debunks that notion, SM did just release a video promoting the group's 2021 season's greetings with all 5 members. Maybe that's SM trying to tell us something. Even though when that post from CHANYEOL's alleged ex-girlfriend came out about him cheating on her during their 3-year relationship, fans were begging SM to please say something. If you remember, the company's only comment was that they weren't going to comment, which, along with CHANYEOL also not saying anything, led many to believe that this post might have some truth to it. Well, with speculation that SM didn't want CHANYEOL to say anything just yet, fans then took it upon themselves to take the photos that were uploaded as proof to debunk them, pointing out time and tattoo discrepancies. What are they blurring out here because there's no way it's a human being? While this was going on, another anonymous post came out, now claiming they were introduced to CHANYEOL from their mutual friend Baekhyun. This person even claimed Baekhyun pretty much frowns on CHANYEOL and his life choices. However, it seemed like Baekhyun could not stay quiet about this any longer and responded indirectly to the second post on Twitter, essentially saying, "Who the heck are you?" and then calling this so-called acquaintance a mosquito. That garnered a lot of praise because it seemed like Baekhyun did more in one tweet than SM did. Then another significant person seemed to be standing with CHANYEOL, and that's Raiden, or DJ Raiden. You may know him from his work with many SM artists. He simply said, quote, "He will be fine." The last update we've gotten might point to the fact that SM and CHANYEOL may have been handling things behind the scenes, because SM did come out to announce that they are teaming up with 10 major law firms to fight against malicious comments and rumors. However, they were not specific as to which ones. This could be for any of the artists that have been in the headlines in the last couple of weeks, or possibly all of them. It could just be for things like this fake photo of CHANYEOL and Rose that went around. We don't really know, but I'm willing to bet it has been chaos at the SM building lately. It's probably been chaos for Prada too, with their marketing strategy probably twisted, turned upside down. Dahyun, oh my goodness, what are you doing? I don't know if this is incredibly impressive or terrifying, although I wouldn't mind Dahyun haunting my dreams. I know their new song has definitely been stuck in my head, plus Sana's awesome boots, and it seems like in a lot of your heads as well, because Twice won the music video theory poll for this week, and luckily they helped me out for a bit, because Twice themselves have confirmed that I Can't Stop Me builds upon the foundation established by More and More, at least narratively. So what did More and More set up? To recap my theory, Twice started as these pure, enchanting, fairy-like characters, but just like in the story of Adam and Eve, after being tempted by the snake, aka probably Jungyeon, they give in and bite into the forbidden fruit. We then see the girls become more and more free-spirited, backed up by the lyrics and hippie aesthetics. No longer do they feel the need to keep up the image of pure, innocent girls. Well, according to Twice, that concept blossoms even more in this music video. Not only have they freed themselves from the shackles of innocence, they are now exploring what's on the other side. However, what's on the other side might already be inside. The lyrics express them confronting the darker side of themselves, while we visually see them sitting across from each other. Chaeyoung's different eye colors convey the warring duality between the good and evil that exists within her. While their minds and the lyrics warn not to go too far, we see that they are constantly enticed with the notion of crossing the line. And it's once again Jungyeon who's behind Twice's descent into madness. She literally breaks that barrier, causing the line to now be blurred. The girls now have no problem going beyond the boundaries of good and evil. Notice in the chorus when they sing about the red line in front of them, the choreography has them stretch their legs as far as they can. Not only are they unable to resist their darker urges, they also attempt to turn a blind eye from their actions. To further communicate their moral ambiguity, the trains on either side are going in opposite directions while the girls dance in the middle. And if you know your Twice music videos, you know they love using trains and buses for symbolism. Now, although it seems they've completely lost themselves, there is still light at the end of the tunnel, and it's that ray of light that they run to, attempting to escape the darkness. Each of them running toward that light until we see all of them sitting on that train, escaping the destruction they presumably caused. I'm sure this story of Twice's character development will continue in the next comeback, and that this scene is a cliffhanger in more ways than one. But I Can't Stop Me on its own shows us that even though it's hard to resist our darker urges, it's even harder to escape the consequences.